Hey everybody, this is Doug with Artfully Rogue, and I'm going to show you in this video how to take a longer bolt and make it a shorter bolt. Have you ever been working on a project where you need a certain amount of bolts and they need to be a certain length so they can fit into the space that you're working in? You get all the way to the end and find that you're missing one bolt. However, you do have the same diameter, you just don't have the same length, and you'd like to cut this down. Problem is, when you cut the end of a bolt off, it doesn't always thread into the nut properly. So I'm going to show you how to cut the bolt a couple different ways, and then also how to deburr the end of the bolt so it threads in nicely and can be used at any time. You don't have to like put the bolt in, put the nut on, cut it off, and never be able to take it off again. So let me show you first how to cut the bolt. Okay, so the quickest way to actually cut the bolt would be to use an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. Make sure that you use eye protection, ear protection, and gloves. All right, you are going to be cutting metal and you will be throwing some sparks, and you don't want that stuff to get in your eye. Another way to cut a bolt is by using a hacksaw blade. It's a little bit slower, but it'll still get the job done. You can help speed up that process by taking the bolt and putting it into a drill or into a drill press. That way, you don't have to use as much energy with the blade, as the actual drill will revolve and help make that cut a little bit quicker for you. Okay, so now that you got the bolt cut, you want to deburr it so you can put a nut on it easily. So definitely the fastest way is to take the bolt, run it across the top of a flap wheel. It doesn't really take much. You just want to put a little bevel on there and the nut will go right onto the bolt. Boom, just like that. Another way is to get this nifty little tool. It's a deburring tool specifically for bolts. You can pick them up on Amazon. I'll put the link in my description. But put it into a drill, set it on top of the bolt where you need to deburr, and boom, it's done. Definitely have to put it in a vise because I wouldn't hold that. That would be crazy. But as you can see, as this focuses in, it puts a nice bevel on it, and you can put a nut right on that bolt without any problems. So maybe the deburring tool's right. Okay, so now that's if you have big bolts that you need to shorten. Did you know that a pair of wire cutters actually has a way for you to cut bolts in half or at the ends or whenever? And all you have to do is take your small bolt, find the right size hole, thread it in, and I'll see if I can show you right up close. You can actually do standard and metric on these particular wire cutters, and then you simply cut that off, and now you should be able to just unscrew. This is where it gets tricky. Unscrew your bolt, but not always, because you've got that burr on there. So in this case, we're going to grab a pair of, or not a pair, but we're going to grab a Phillips head screwdriver and we'll pull that out. Now this is too small for that deburring tool, but you can use your flap wheel or a piece of sandpaper to clean that edge up, and you'll be able to use it as good as new. Hey, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. It is greatly appreciated. So if you have any comments, please leave those down below. If you have any suggestions for new videos, I'd like to hear them. And listen, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd really like it that you do. And hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a video. Now that summer is coming to an end here in Phoenix, Arizona, it's going to start cooling off, which means I'm going to be able to start shooting more videos here in the shop. I would also like to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, Judy Clothier, John Leddington, Barry and Marlene Rush, and of course, Fun Kiss Artistic Creations. I'll see everybody in the next video. hacksaw blade. Now, you have a hacksaw handle that this blade can go on. I don't actually have one here in the shop, or if I do, I don't know exactly where it's at. And who gives a shit whether you know where my handle's at?